Rasheeda, Kirk, and Jasmine exposed in shocking threesome scandal. Yandy spills all the tea. What started as harmless whispers behind the scenes has exploded into full-blown chaos. Yandy has just dropped bombshell receipts claiming Rasheeda, Kirk, and Jasmine were secretly involved in a scandalous threesome, and the fallout is shaking the entire love and hip-hop world. Betrayals, lies, and jaw-dropping confessions are spilling out faster than anyone can contain them. And Yandy's making sure the whole world hears every detail. The love and hip-hop universe is spinning out of control. And this time, the center of the storm is none other than Rasheeda, Kirk Frost, and Jasmine Washington. What started as subtle whispers in green rooms and cryptic posts on social media has now exploded into one of the most scandalous controversies the franchise has ever seen. And the shocking part? It was Yandy Smith who pulled the trigger, dropping bombshell claims that the trio were secretly entangled in a late-night threesome scandal, and she swears she has the receipts to prove it. It all started a few weeks ago when fans began noticing odd tension between Rasheeda and Kirk during filming. The couple, who've had a rocky marriage history riddled with infidelity drama, seemed unusually quiet around each other. On set, producers caught them whispering behind closed doors and dodging questions during interviews. At first, people thought they were just trying to keep their relationship private this season. But then, Jasmine, Kirk's former fling, and the mother of his child suddenly resurfaced backstage at an event, and the vibe shifted completely. Producers reportedly didn't even know Jasmine had been invited. Security let her in because her name was on a special guest list that nobody could explain. When she walked through the door, Rasheeda visibly froze, and Kirk's face drained of color. Cameras captured the tense moment as Jasmine sauntered up, all smiles, as if nothing was wrong. Rasheeda barely nodded. Kirk muttered something under his breath. The tension was thick enough to slice with a knife. According to crew insiders, that night changed everything. After the event wrapped, Rasheeda, Kirk, and Jasmine all vanished from the venue around the same time. The next morning, they didn't show up for scheduled interviews. And that's when the rumors exploded, whispers that the three of them had slipped away together for a private after-party, and that something shocking had gone down behind closed doors. At first, everyone dismissed the gossip as wild fan theories. But then Yandy Smith came forward, and she wasn't just talking. She had audio clips. In a now viral Instagram Live, Yandy sat in her dressing room, her phone perched on a stand, her tone dead serious. "Look," she said, "I don't like mess. But when the truth gets buried just to protect certain people's images, that's when it becomes my business. Because the fans deserve to know what really happened that night." Then she played a short clip. The muffled audio sounded like Rasheeda's voice, laughing and saying, "This is crazy. I can't believe we're actually doing this." A man who sounded eerily like Kirk replied, "You know, you wanted this?" Followed by Jasmine giggling. "Took you long enough to admit it." The comments section exploded instantly. Fans flooded the chat with shocked reactions. "Wait, WHAT? That's Rasheeda's voice. This can't be real." Yandy leaned closer to the camera. "They can deny it all they want, but I was in the hallway when they left together. And I know what I heard the next morning when people were talking. This wasn't some accidental run-in. This was planned." The clip spread like wildfire across social media. Blogs picked it up within minutes. By the end of the night, hashtag #RASHEEDA Kirk Jasmine was trending on Twitter. And fans were dissecting every frame of footage from the event to see if the trio had been acting suspicious. The backlash was immediate and brutal. Rasheeda's brand, which had long centered on being a strong, faithful wife who overcame Kirk's past infidelity, suddenly looked like it was built on lies. Commenters flooded her Instagram with snake emojis and accusations of hypocrisy. "So you dragged Jasmine for years just to end up in bed with her." One user wrote, "Girl, you clowned yourself. Kirk tried to do damage control first," posting a vague Instagram story that said, "Don't believe everything you hear," followed by a smirking emoji. But it only fueled the fire. Fans slammed him for not outright denying it. Some even claimed his half-smile looked like he was enjoying the chaos. Meanwhile, Jasmine stayed quiet. She posted nothing, no denials, no confirmations, just silence. And that silence was deafening. Behind the scenes, things were getting ugly. Producers called emergency meetings with Rasheeda and Kirk, trying to convince them to address the rumors on camera to salvage their reputations. According to insiders, Rasheeda flat out refused. She allegedly stormed out of the meeting saying, "I don't know the world an explanation for my private life." But Yandy wasn't done. She hinted there was more audio and possibly screenshots of text messages linking the trio. During another Instagram Live, she smirked and said, "They really should have been more careful. The walls have ears, and receipts don't lie." That single statement sent fans into a frenzy. Some accused Yandy of clout chasing, while others praised her for exposing the hypocrisy of Rasheeda and Kirk pretending to have a perfect marriage. A few even speculated that Yandy only came forward because she was tired of Rasheeda's attitude behind the scenes. Calling her fake and controlling, regardless of Yandy's motives, the damage was done. Sponsors reportedly started pulling back from Rasheeda's boutique line. Bookings for public appearances were quietly canceled, and crew members said Kirk had been losing it on set, screaming at producers and accusing them of setting him up to look bad. One insider claimed that the tension between Rasheeda and Kirk had become unbearable to watch during filming. "They don't even look at each other anymore," the source said. "If they do, it's like daggers. It's like they're trying to silently blame each other for the whole mess, but neither one will say it out loud." Double quotes. As for Jasmine, she finally made a cryptic post on Instagram after days of silence. A black screen with white text that said, "People love to act shocked by what they knew was always coming." She turned off the comments, leaving fans screaming for answers. And that's when Rasheeda and Kirk's worst nightmare hit. Production decided to confront them about the rumors on camera during the next group taping with Yandy present. They didn't know it yet. But what was about to unfold on set would push their marriage and their reputations to the absolute brink. The tension on set was unbearable the day of the confrontation. Everyone knew what was coming, but no one dared to say it out loud. The producers had been hyping this group taping as can't-miss TV, and the entire cast of Love and Hip-Hop showed up buzzing with nervous energy. Rasheeda and Kirk arrived separately, which was already a red flag. They didn't speak, didn't even glance at each other as they were ushered into the lounge area. Meanwhile, Yandy strolled in cool and collected, sunglasses on, phone in hand. Like she wasn't the reason the internet had been in flames for the past week. Crew members whispered behind clipboards. The cameras were already rolling before the cast even hit the couches. Everyone knew this was going to be the moment, the one that would either clear the air or completely destroy whatever image Rasheeda and Kirk had left. When the director called for everyone to be seated, you could practically hear the collective heartbeat of the room. Rasheeda sat stiffly on one end of the couch, her legs crossed and arms folded like armor. Kirk lounged on the opposite end, feigning nonchalance, but his eyes were darting nervously. Jasmine had been invited too, though she hadn't confirmed if she'd come. That uncertainty hung over the room like a storm cloud, and then Yandy made her entrance. She walked in without hesitation, her heels clicking across the floor, and took the middle seat like a queen claiming her throne. The air thickened instantly. Everyone sat up straighter. "Let's get this over with," Rasheeda muttered under her breath. Not meeting anyone's eyes, Yandy smirked. "Oh, we will." Yandy smirked. "Oh, we will." The host gave a quick intro, laying out the basic question on everyone's mind. Was there roar? Was there not a secret threesome involving Rasheeda, Kirk, and Jasmine? And if Yandy's accusations weren't true, why was there audio that seemed to back them up? Rasheeda shot the host a deadly look. "This is ridiculous. I'm not even going to entertain this." "You kind of have to," Yandy cut in smoothly, "'cause you've been entertaining a lot more behind closed doors." Apparently, gasps rippled across the set. Even the crew froze mid-step. Kirk leaned forward, glaring at Yandy. "You don't know what you're talking about." Yandy's smile sharpened. "Oh, I do. You think I'd come out here risking my name and credibility on something I wasn't sure about?" Please, I have the receipts. I have the audio. And if I really wanted to, I could play the rest of it right now for everybody watching at home. The crowd on set stirred. Castmates shifted uncomfortably, whispering to each other. Rasheeda finally snapped, slamming her hand on the couch arm. You're lying. You're doing this for attention, Yandy. You've always hated that people respect me. This is your way of tearing me down. Yandy didn't flinch. Respect or fear? Because there's a difference. People walk on eggshells around you, Rasheeda. But me, I don't scare easily. And if the truth makes you crumble, maybe your foundation was never solid to begin with. The room went dead silent. Then, out of nowhere, the studio doors opened and in walked Jasmine. Every head whipped toward her. Cameras zoomed in like hawks. Jasmine strutted to the center of the room in a sleek black dress, cool as ice, and perched on the arm of the couch. Well, she purred, since y'all are already talking about me, might as well hear it from the source. Rasheeda's jaw clenched. Don't start. Jasmine tilted her head. Start? Oh, baby. This has started. You just made it come out. The entire set erupted with gasps and murmurs. Yandy leaned back, arms crossed, like she'd been waiting for this moment. So go on, Jasmine. Tell them. Jasmine smiled slyly. Let's just say, things got real friendly that night. Real fast. And if people want to pretend it didn't happen, that's on them. But I know what I did and who I did it with. Rasheeda shot to her feet. You are lying through your teeth. Nothing happened. Really? Jasmine said, pulling her phone from her purse. Because I got text from a certain someone who sure didn't act like it was nothing. Gasps. Kirk jumped up. Don't you dare. Too late. Jasmine flashed her phone screen at the cameras. The producers instantly zoomed in. Blurred messages appeared on the monitors. Late-night texts from a number saved as K, saying, things like last night was crazy and can't stop thinking about it. The room went. Nuclear. Rasheeda looked like the air had been sucked out of her lungs. She lunged for Jasmine's phone, but security quickly stepped in. Kirk cursed under his breath, running his hands over his head like he was trying to erase the moment. Yandy, meanwhile, sat perfectly still, her expression unreadable but triumphant. See? She said softly. I didn't even have to play the rest of the audio. The truth always comes out. One way or another. The host, stunned, tried to regain control of the set, but the damage was already done. Castmates were shouting over each other, some defending Rasheeda, others saying they believed Jasmine. One person yelled, they were freaky behind the scenes. I knew it. While another screamed, Rasheeda would never. Rasheeda whirled on Jasmine, eyes blazing. You are pathetic. You've been obsessed with tearing down my marriage since day one. You think this makes you look powerful? It just makes you look desperate. Jasmine smiled coldly. Funny, I wasn't the one sneaking out the back door that night. Holding hands with both of y'all, the entire room gasped again. Kirk exploded. Enough. This is done. Y'all can spin this however you want, but we know the truth. Do you? Yandy asked quietly. Because it seems like the truth keeps slipping through your fingers. Security finally stepped in, calling a break before the chaos turned physical. Producers swarmed the set, trying to calm everyone down, but it was pointless. Rasheeda stormed off, heels clicking furiously, shouting over her shoulder, I'm done with this show if y'all think I'm gonna let lies ruin my name. Kirk followed behind her, muttering curses. Jasmine stayed behind, laughing softly as makeup artists and crew members tried to clear the set. And Yandy. She just sat there, legs crossed, scrolling through her phone like she had just finished a normal day at work. But the cameras caught one last thing, a brief, knowing smirk on Yandy's face, like she knew this was only the beginning, and she was right. Because just a few hours later, new leaks would drop online that would make this confrontation look tame compared to what was coming next, as the whispers about Rasheeda Kirk and Jasmine's alleged entanglement reached a fever pitch. The atmosphere around their friend circle became suffocating. Every interaction was laced with suspicion. And the tension backstage at the latest Love and Hip Hop taping could have been cut with a knife. It was supposed to be just another day of shooting, but the explosive drama had turned everything upside down. Yandy, who had initially just hinted at knowing more than she was willing to say, finally had enough of watching the couple dodge accountability. When producers cornered her and asked if she'd be willing to share what she knew on camera, okay, she paused for a long moment before agreeing. But this time, Yandy came prepared. She walked into the green room with her phone in hand and the kind of calm confidence that only someone holding a game-changing piece of evidence could have. "Look," she said, locking eyes with Rasheeda across the room. "I didn't want to do this, but y'all making me the villain while you are playing perfect for the cameras. Let's tell the truth now." Rasheeda's face went pale. Kirk sat up straighter in his chair, jaw tightening, while Jasmine, sitting in the corner pretending to scroll through her phone, froze. The energy shifted immediately. The crew grew silent as Yandy played an audio recording on her phone, the voices unmistakably belonging to Rasheeda, Kirk, and Jasmine, laughing and whispering about how they thought they could keep their little secret under wraps before anyone caught on. The room erupted. Rasheeda jumped to her feet, insisting the clip was edited and taken out of context. She shouted that Yandy was just trying to sabotage her marriage because she was jealous of their brand deals. Kirk stood too, his voice rising as he demanded to know how Yandy got the recording in the first place. Meanwhile, Jasmine sat still, her face flushing red, unable to muster a defense. The silence on her part spoke volumes to the cast members watching nearby. Producers quickly stepped in to stop the confrontation from turning physical. But the damage was done. The scandal was officially out, and there was no taking it back. The cast group chat lit up immediately, with several members reacting in shock that the long-denied rumors might have been true all along. Later that night, when cameras were off, Rasheeda broke down in her dressing room. The confident facade she wore on set crumbled as she admitted to a close friend that things had spiraled way beyond what she expected. According to her, what started as a one-time mistake had turned into a black cloud threatening everything she and Kirk had built. She confessed that Kirk pushed the idea, claiming it could spice things up and keep their marriage exciting. But it had only left her feeling used and disrespected. Kirk, on the other hand, was furious not because of the emotional fallout, but because their business empire was now on the verge of collapse. Brand partners had already started reaching out with concerns, and social media was dragging them relentlessly. He accused Yandy of trying to destroy their livelihood out of spite. But few were buying that narrative anymore. Meanwhile, Jasmine became the unlikely target of online outrage. Fans flooded her social media with accusations that she had once again inserted herself into Rasheeda and Kirk's marriage, with many calling her a professional homewrecker, though she tried to clap back by posting cryptic stories suggesting she was being set up. Her followers weren't sympathetic. Some even dug up old clips from previous seasons to show how often she had been involved in scandals around Kirk. The network. Executives were reportedly thrilled about the spike in attention, but behind the scenes, the cast was furious. Several members felt that the show had gone too far by airing something so damaging and personal. They claimed producers knew about the scandal long before Yandy exposed it and had been sitting on the footage until the timing was right to maximize drama. The fallout didn't end there. In the days following Yandy's bombshell, Rasheeda moved out of the house she shared with Kirk and took their kids with her. Paparazzi caught her arriving at a hotel with several suitcases, her face hidden under a hoodie. And when asked if she was done with Kirk for good, she only replied, "I need to protect my peace." That single quote went viral, sparking a wave of support from women who praised her for finally choosing herself. Kirk responded by going live on Instagram, visibly angry and defensive. He denied ever having a threesome arrangement with Jasmine and Rasheeda, claiming the audio was fabricated. He accused Yandy of clout chasing and threatened to take legal action against her for defamation. But even in the comments of his own live, fans weren't siding with him. They bombarded him with clown emojis and told him to just admit it. As for Yandy, she stood her ground. In a confessional interview filmed days later, she said, "I'm not here to protect anybody's fake image. Y'all wanted to act like you were the perfect couple while lying to everybody's face. Nah, I'm not playing that game. If people want to call me messy, so be it. At least I'm honest, and that might be the biggest twist of all. Yandy somehow came out of the scandal stronger than ever, while Rasheeda and Kirk were bleeding followers and struggling to do damage control. Yandy's social media engagement skyrocketed. Fans praised her for being the only real one left on the show, and even some of her old critics admitted she had exposed what everyone had suspected for years. Now, all eyes are on Rasheeda. She's reportedly considering taking a break from filming to focus on her mental health and decide whether she can forgive Kirk or if their marriage is truly over at this time. Friends say she's been deeply shaken, not just by the betrayal, but by how quickly public opinion turned against her. She had spent years trying to rebuild her image after Kirk's past infidelity, and now it feels like she's back at square one. In a moment of brutal honesty caught off camera, Rasheeda allegedly told a friend, "I can't even look at him without thinking about that night. I feel like a fool. I stayed through all his cheating, and this is what I get." It's a haunting reminder that behind the reality TV chaos are real people facing real heartbreak. And while the cameras will keep rolling and the drama will continue, it's clear this scandal has changed the dynamic forever. The so-called power couple's empire has cracks showing from every angle. And fans are wondering if this really is the final chapter of Rasheeda and Kirk, or if they'll try to salvage their brand one more time. Because in the world of love and hip-hop, nothing stays buried forever. And the truth always comes out, no matter how ugly it is. If you thought the Rasheeda, Kirk, and Jasmine drama couldn't get any messier, think again, because the fallout is only just beginning. Will Rasheeda walk away for good, or try to rebuild what's left of their shattered empire? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next shocking twist in this love and hip-hop saga.